After a fierce gunfight, Hank lay on the ground covered in wounds. His partner had been killed on the spot. Dragging his heavy body, he crawled forward, trying to grab the shotgun on the ground for one last resistance, but the other side didn't give him a chance at all. When his men searched them, they found that the two were actually DEA agents. Jack immediately pulled out his gun to finish off Hank, but was stopped by Walt's shout. Lying on the ground was his own brother-in-law. Jack was in a dilemma. They had already killed one agent, and letting Hank go would bring endless trouble. Walt panicked. Although he had a strained relationship with Hank, his original intention of making drugs was for his family. So Walt offered $80 million to spare Hank's life, and the situation reached a deadlock. Walt almost pleaded, but the other side remained unmoved and shot Hank dead. When Jack and his men dug up the hidden $80 million in ill-gotten gains according to the coordinates, Walt's world completely collapsed. He had wanted to give his family a better life, but now he had indirectly caused the death of his brother-in-law. Unexpectedly, Jack didn't embezzle all the money. He only took $70 million and left $10 million for Walt. He didn't want to completely break off the relationship, but from the moment Jack pulled the trigger, Walt had regarded him as a sworn enemy. He regretted deeply. If he hadn't been dragged into this mess and handed over the meth recipe, how could things have turned out like this? But it was all too late. The other side had the advantage in numbers, and he could only endure for the time being. They brought the key person in front of Walt. Staring at the man, Walt revealed a fatal past. "I watched Jane die with my own eyes. I could have saved her, but I chose to stand by and do nothing." After saying that, he told Jack to take the man away. As for the life and death of Jesse, it was beyond his control at this moment. On the other side, Marie found Skylar and informed her of Walt's arrest. Knowing that there was no way to change it, Skylar decided to confess to her son. Flynn was shocked as if struck by lightning. The father he admired was actually a big drug lord? When the mother and son returned home, they caught Walt packing his bags, ready to run away. Skylar immediately understood. Something had happened to Hank, otherwise he wouldn't have been released. For the sake of her brother, she picked up a knife and pointed it at Walt. Walt was filled with bitterness. He had risked his life with his family, but in return, he got the alienation of his wife and son. Looking at the resistance in their eyes, he was disheartened. What made him even more desperate was that his son actually took out his phone and called the police. He mocked himself that these two were ungrateful. To get back at his wife's heartlessness, he picked up his little daughter and left. But on the way, his daughter cried and called for her mother. He suddenly came to his senses. He was about to flee for his life. Why should he let the child suffer with him? Even though he was extremely reluctant, he still sent his daughter back home. At this time, Skylar had been taken into custody by the police. Walt took the opportunity to take all the blame for himself. He deliberately used harsh words to accuse his wife of never supporting him and even mentioned separation. How could Skylar not understand that her husband was trying to exonerate her? At this moment, she regretted deeply. Walt still thought of her even in such a desperate situation, but she had never given him the warmth of a home. Hearing the resolute tone on the phone, she knew that this might be the last time she heard his voice. After hanging up the phone, Walt put his daughter on the fire truck. When the person who helped with disappearing appeared, he finally embarked on the road of fleeing for his life. This time, he really had to bear everything alone.